I kept hearing laughter coming from the empty apartment above mine, and when I finally learned the truth, it shattered me. It started my second week in the building. I was sitting on the floor, eating takeout straight from the box, when I heard it. Soft, playful laughter drifting from above. The sound of a child. At first, I smiled. It reminded me of my little sister when we were kids. I figured it was a family, maybe playing before bedtime. But the next morning, when I mentioned it to my landlord, his face went pale. There are no kids that lives up there, he said. At least for years. I laughed it off. Old buildings creak. Sound travels. Maybe he didn't know. But the next night, it happened again. Laughter. Quick footsteps. A boy's voice calling out in delight like someone was chasing him. And once, I swear I heard a woman humming. By the third night, I couldn't sleep. I sat in the dark, listening to that joy spilling through my ceiling. Joy that shouldn't exist. And then, mixed in with the laughter, I heard it. A choked sob. A sound so full of pain, it hollowed me out. The next morning, I went upstairs. I told myself I was crazy, but I knocked anyway. At first, nothing. Just silence. I almost turned to leave, embarrassed at how insane I must have looked, standing there in a hallway, talking myself into ghost stories. But then, there was movement. Slow, dragging footsteps, like someone debating whether to even come to the door at all. My chest tightened. I suddenly wasn't sure what I wanted. An answer, or more silence. Because if someone did open that door, then I'd have to face the truth. Either I was imagining everything, or I wasn't. After a long pause, the door cracked open, and that's when I saw her. An older woman, thin as paper, her skin pale and tired, her eyes red and swollen, her face carved with grief that time had never managed to erase. Her gaze locked onto mine, and for a moment neither of us spoke. The silence between us felt heavy, electric. I opened my mouth, but before I could force a single word out, she whispered, her voice fragile, broken, but certain. You hear him too, don't you? My throat tightened. I nodded. She let me inside. The apartment was nearly bare, except for one chair and the walls, covered in photographs. A boy, maybe 7, bright smile, messy hair, alive in every frame. That's my son, she said, pointing toward the wall we shared. Her voice shook as she held up a trembling hand. He died here, leukemia. It was just the two of us. And when he left, her throat tightened and tears filled her eyes. Sometimes at night I play the tapes, the ones he made when he was little, his laugh, his singing, the stories he used to tell me before bed. Her chin quivered. I play them because it's the only way I can still hear him, the only way I can pretend, just for a moment, that he's still here. Her voice broke completely. I didn't think anyone else could hear it through the walls. I'm sorry if it disturbed you. I just can't let him go. She pressed her hand over her mouth, sobbing quietly, and God help me, I started crying with her. I didn't even know this child, but standing there, surrounded by his smiling face, listening to his mother's heartbreak in front of me, I felt it, all of it. She wiped her eyes and pulled out a shoebox from the corner. Inside were old cassette tapes. He recorded everything, she whispered. His jokes, his singing, his little stories before bed. Her sobs quieted, though her shoulders still shook. She brushed at her eyes and gave a broken laugh, as if embarrassed by her own grief. I play the tapes sometimes, she said softly, but never for long, just enough to remember he was real. Then I have to shut them off, because it hurts too much. It's like ripping the wound open again and again, but maybe you can. I carried that box downstairs like it was made of glass. That night, I played the first tape. His voice filled the room, bright, goofy, full of life. And that laughter, the same laughter I'd heard through the ceiling, echoed into my apartment. I sat there with tears streaming down my face, clutching the tape deck to my chest like it was the boy himself. Now, when the nights get too heavy, I play those tapes. And every time, I cry. Not just for him, not just for his mother, but because some part of me wishes I could step into those recordings, into that laughter, and keep him alive the way he deserved. And maybe that's the saddest part, knowing the echoes of a child's joy are sometimes stronger than the silence they leave behind.